Hey and welcome to Mini Gokin Reviews. Today we're looking at the Plamatea Guts Berserker armor version. I have a lot of Guts figures, but I don't have any model kits, until now. Mostly because, aside from this, there aren't really Guts model kits. Is that surprising? I don't know. But what I do know is that, for the first articulated Nuts from Berserk kit, this is pretty good. It's simple, but it's so special. That's an Idolmaster reference, by the way. Because the Idolmaster is great. And you know who else knew that? Kentaro fucking Miura. Eat my entire ass. A Berserk video is exactly where I expect to come out as an Idolmaster fan. Anyway, assembly. Plamatea being a new model kit line, I wasn't really sure what to expect. Unlike Motoroid, it's a line by Max Factory instead of Good Smile Company. What does that mean? I have no fucking idea. They have Plamax, but I've never really had a Plamax before. That being said, it's a simple build. While not being as enjoyable as a Bandai model kit, it's a better building experience than a Motoroid kit. And Motoroids aren't even that bad. But so what if building is pretty good? Is the end result worth it? In the looks department, I'd say yes. You do want to give it a matte coat, as out of the box it's got a very plasticky look. But even left as is, it's not too bad. The sculpt is fantastic. The armor doesn't have these sculpted in lines, but I'd argue that they are necessary, and I prefer if the look is more subtle, like on the 3-0 figure. But again, it's... You can't really go wrong with the Guts Berserker armor, as at its core it's one of the best bits of fantasy armor ever designed. It's even pretty practical, which makes my inner armor nerd very happy. You could say it looks like Batman, but Batman wishes he looked this cool. I mean, just look at this. This looks lame and like a cringe attempt at being even a little bit as cool. There are some fairly noticeable seams, but again this is a model kit, so that's to be expected. The only thing really missing from this is some edge highlights, which is something that I can say about every articulated Guts figure, aside from the Figma. Man, Figma really needs to make a Guts Berserker armor 2.0, considering how good that fluted armor was. But I guess I'll wait for Skull Knight before I start begging. But can he beg? Why, yes. Because articulation might be the best out of all the Guts figures. Range is better than the Figma and about as good as the SH Figuarts. But he's not just cool as ice, but also as solid. Does that make sense? Regardless, the SH Figuarts is a floppy mess in comparison. It looks great, feels great, smells like nothing, and is solid as fuck. That's some pretty high praise. What could possibly... It broke. It just fucking broke. This part of the leg is just a bit too thin, and it snapped while recording the footage. So if you do have or do get this, you're gonna want to be really careful with it. Anyway. Accessories are very minimal, you just get hands. Something you can't really call a sword. Which, unlike the first Guts SH Figuarts, this can actually hold really well. This cape, which is probably the best Guts cape for this scale, it's not a stupid piece of paper or plastic brick. Lastly, and by all means leastly, you get a stand, which is actually pretty good. Guts and Guts. Over. Oh. Future Gokin here, and it's time for Gokin Impressions. Except not really, because we're actually going to be looking back at a figure, one that I reviewed previously, the Storm Collectibles Baki's dad, because there's an update. What the fuck happened? My copy got all beat up. I didn't even do anything to it, but it looks like a child punched the shit out of him. This was my favorite figure from last year, and now it's become this, a shadow of its former self. It disappoints me to no end that this has the shelf life of 13 whole minutes, that it can go from incredible to barely credible. This isn't even the extent of the issues that have popped up. The paint on this face started bleeding. That's not even the worst thing to happen, because the rest of them fucking melted. They don't look anything like they used to. Some of the hands even warped to look like they can hold things, things that this never came with, which is insulting. I'm still mad this came with nothing, not a single thing. I understand that's a manga about dudes punching each other, but you could include things other than hands and heads. I guess giving him clothes was nice, except not really, because now his shirt has a giant fucking hole in it. Personally, I like it when my figures are made to last. And this aged like milk, so I rescind my previous recommendations and pronounce Storm Collectibles a shit company that makes shit products. I don't care that I'm making 1/12 scale Baki figures now. How could I after this? If they made an exclusive version of Baki's dad from last year that came with new stuff and even includes his invisible soup, I'd definitely buy that from Gundamit. And I'd even recommend buying stuff from Gundamit. Not to mention using my code in the support your favorite reviewer thing. But alas, those are my gokin impressions. Make of it what you will. Overall, this is one issue away from being fantastic, so if you can overlook that issue, and the price, which is half as much as the SH Figure Arts, which while not terrible isn't great, I can recommend it, link in the description. That's about it, thank you to the patrons. Thine art fucking idiot Desne. Of course, thank you to Robouken for the recording contributions, and I'll see y'all next time.